Transvestism, and Islamic Perspective. By Masood Saeed, 14 July 2023. Introduction. Transvestism, also known as cross-dressing, is a phenomenon that has intrigued and challenged societal norms throughout history. This practice involves individuals adopting the clothing and appearance typically associated with the opposite gender. While transvestism is often misunderstood or conflated with transgender identities, it is important to recognize that it represents a distinct expression of gender expression and may have different motivations and implications. This article aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of transvestism, covering its definition, signs, symptoms, and available treatments. Additionally, it explores the Islamic perspective on cross-dressing and how it is viewed within the context of Islamic teachings. First, we will delve into the definition of transvestism, highlighting its distinction from other gender-related concepts. Then, we will examine the signs and symptoms associated with transvestism, exploring the behavioral patterns and emotional experiences that individuals may exhibit. Understanding these signs is crucial for recognizing when transvestism may cause distress or impairment, potentially requiring professional intervention. Next, we will explore the available treatments for transvestism, focusing on therapeutic approaches and support systems that can assist individuals in coping with their desires and addressing any associated distress. It is important to note that not all individuals who engage in cross-dressing require or seek treatment, as personal experiences and motivations can vary widely. Finally, we will delve into the Islamic perspective on transvestism, considering the religious teachings and beliefs surrounding cross-dressing. We will explore how Islamic scholars interpret relevant Quranic verses and the underlying principles that inform the Islamic view on this matter. Additionally, we will discuss the concept of Islamic cure, emphasizing the spiritual guidance and practices that individuals may seek within the Islamic framework. By providing an in-depth analysis of transvestism, this article aims to foster understanding and promote dialogue on this topic. It is essential to approach transvestism with empathy, respect, and a commitment to embracing diverse expressions of gender identity and human experiences. One definition. Transvestism, or cross-dressing, refers to the practice of wearing clothing and adopting the appearance traditionally associated with the opposite gender. According to dictionary.com, a transvestite is a person, typically a man, who derives pleasure from dressing in clothes primarily associated with the opposite sex. 1. 2 Signs and symptoms. The signs and symptoms of transvestism include a persistent desire to dress in clothing traditionally associated with the opposite gender, strong urges to adopt the mannerisms and behaviors of the opposite gender, feeling distressed or impaired by the desire to cross-dress, and repeatedly engaging in cross-dressing to fulfill the desire. It is important to note that the behavior is not limited to sexual arousal or pleasure. 2. 3 Treatment. Transvestism is considered a paraphilic disorder known as transvestic disorder. According to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-5, individuals with transvestic disorder experience recurrent and intense sexual arousal from cross-dressing, which causes significant distress or impairment in important areas of functioning. 2. Treatment approaches for transvestic disorder may include individual therapy, such as cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, or other forms of psychotherapy, to explore and address underlying factors contributing to the distress associated with cross-dressing. Support groups can also be beneficial, providing validation and support from individuals with similar experiences. In some cases, medication may be prescribed to manage coexisting mental health conditions such as depression or anxiety. 2. Islamic perspective. In Islam, cross-dressing is generally considered forbidden. The majority of Islamic scholars interpret the Quranic verse, 7:26, as prohibiting men from wearing women's clothing and vice versa. This prohibition is rooted in the principle of maintaining modesty and adhering to the natural gender distinctions prescribed by Allah. 3. 4 Islamic perspective on cure. Islamic teachings emphasize seeking guidance from Allah and following His commandments for spiritual healing. For individuals struggling with transvestism or any other challenge, seeking repentance, engaging in acts of worship, and strengthening their connection with Allah through prayer and recitation of the Quran can be a means of finding solace and seeking forgiveness. Additionally, seeking support from knowledgeable and pious individuals within the Islamic community can provide guidance and spiritual assistance. 3. It is important to consult with knowledgeable scholars or individuals well versed in Islamic teachings for specific guidance and advice regarding personal circumstances and challenges. Conclusion. Transvestism, or cross-dressing, represents a complex phenomenon that encompasses the act of adopting clothing and appearance traditionally associated with the opposite gender. Throughout this article, we have explored the definition, signs, symptoms, and treatment options for transvestism. We have also examined the Islamic perspective on cross-dressing and the potential approaches to seeking spiritual healing within the Islamic framework. It is crucial to understand that transvestism should not be conflated with transgender identities or gender dysphoria. Transvestism involves individuals who derive pleasure, satisfaction, or self-expression through cross-dressing, but it does not necessarily indicate a desire to change one's gender identity. When transvestism causes significant distress or impairment, professional intervention in the form of therapy or support groups can provide valuable assistance. Such treatments aim to address underlying factors contributing to distress and provide individuals with coping mechanisms. From an Islamic perspective, cross-dressing is generally considered forbidden. The Islamic view on transvestism is rooted in the principles of modesty and adhering to the natural gender distinctions prescribed by Allah. Seeking guidance from Allah, following His commandments, and connecting with the Islamic community can be important for individuals seeking spiritual healing within the context of Islam. It is important to approach transvestism and related topics with sensitivity, empathy, and respect for diverse expressions of gender identity and human experiences. By fostering understanding and dialogue, we can create a more inclusive and accepting society that respects individual choices while maintaining cultural and religious values. Ultimately, a balanced approach that takes into account psychological well-being, personal beliefs, and societal norms is essential in navigating the complexity surrounding transvestism.